on the channel, we kick off Wave 3 of the Super 7 Ultimates G.I. Joe with Storm Shadow.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another Super 7 Ultimate Edition unboxing and review. And today we got the much anticipated G.I. Joe Ultimates Series 3 debut on the channel with Storm Shadow. But for all your Storm Shadow needs and a whole lot more, make sure you hit up Entertainment Earth. Use discount code Kyle, save yourself 10% on all in-stock items. Anything over $79 does ship free. You can also go to the Super 7 website, put in code KyleP at checkout to support this very YouTube channel right here. But at the end of the day, we got Storm Shadow finally here in Series 3. And Storm Shadow, dare I say, an all-timer. I think he's an all-timer in the G.I. Joe canon out there. A lot of people going to want this Storm Shadow figure. I was never a huge G.I. Joe Cobra Ninja guy. However, Storm Shadow, no denying, one of the best Cobra villains out there. And I guess later G.I. Joe team member in some universes, including the action figure universe when I was a little kid. But at the end of the day, Storm Shadow, a big deal in the G.I. Joe universe. And this is one Super 7 has got to nail, because there's a lot of people that are very nitpicky about their Snake Eyes and, of course, their Storm Shadows. But, of course, we're going to also do this review like we do all the other reviews on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to see where it goes from there. So without further ado, see what old Storm Shadow's up to here. Big window box, perfect for autographs if you need him to autograph it, if you run into him at the mall or something like that. But he's a ninja. He's extra sneaky, so it might be hard to get that autograph. Could be elusive. Could be elusive. But we got all the extra hands, accessories in here. We'll dive into all that. Of course, classic G.I. Joe logo. We know it. We love it. Got Storm Shadow down here. Just says Cobra Ninja. Cobra's got their ninjas, as we do know. Nothing fun on the sides. On the top, you got Ultimate. Of course, blue packaging here for Cobra. On the back, we got a big tail of the tape blurb going on back there. Looks like a computer readout. Let's see what it says about our old friend. Storm Shadow, Cobra Ninja, primary military specialty, assassin. Oh, yeah. Secondary intelligence, birthplace, classified. Probably parts unknown. Beautiful this time of year. Storm Shadow can trace his family history through 30 generations of assassins. He can scale sheer walls with bare hands and feet, move with blinding speed, and endure unspeakable hardships and pain. Qualified expert, all martial art weapons. 8th degree black belt, working on his 9th, I've heard. In 5 martial arts, so good for him right there. And he could trace that family history pretty far back. I can also trace my family history back 1 generation in action figure reviewers. My dad, we remember him on the channel here. He was brief, but he made an impact. We'll never forget him. Shout out to my dad. Hopefully he's watching. It says, the great ninja assassin clans disappeared 100 years ago. If they were wiped out, nobody took the credit for it. And if they're still around, who are they working for? Oh my gosh, deep thoughts of the day with our friend Storm Shadow. Things getting crazy, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. We've got the usual Starburst background, very on brand for G.I. Joe. A beautiful off to the side. See you later, of course, as we know all about that. Gonna pull out the old plastic. You got the double bubble wrap here. You never go double bubble, and of course, unless you do. But you got arrows, you got weapons, you got swords, you got bow and arrows. We got all the usual ninja tricks right there. And then over here, look at that. There he is in the plastic prison, ready to go. We're here for this. Is that Excalibur? Is that Excalibur sword there? Remember that? Oh, what an episode that was. That was when he squared off against Quick Kick. I like that feud, and I like the Spirit feud a lot more than the Snake Eyes one, as I've talked about in the past. But so far, it looks pretty good. Looks pretty good, but I'm going to take it offline, get all these guys out, all these accessories out, and we'll be back talking all things Storm Shadow. All right, we got Storm Shadow out of the package. Let's dive in. Let's start off the accessories, per the norm here on the channel, of course. And we'll start off with the hands, and happy to report Storm Shadow came to throw down. He's got 2 fists of fury right out of the package. He's ready to drop hands with somebody if he needs to. He also has the hi-ya hands. He can give you the old karate chop. Karate chop. And if you're a karate chop somebody, you have to say that. You're fighting somebody, you say, ha-ha, karate chop. That's what you got to say. You got to call it out. I think that's the way it goes with karate chops. We got some finger-pointing hands, the left and right variety. He can give you one of those, brother. I'm going to get you, Snake Eyes. He could do one of those if need be. We get some gripping hands as well, so 2 standard issue gripping hands on him. An interesting skin tone color on him as well. A little bit almost darker. I don't know. I always think of Storm Shadow being very, very pale. This one's a little bit of a hint of peachy blend in there is what that one is. And then we do get extra hand right here. He's got kind of the tiger punch, I guess, holding the ninja stars is what he's going to do with this one here, but that's a different hand, of course. Now we do got an extra arm here, and this comes with a gripping hand, and this shows the Arashikage. I always struggle pronouncing that, but we do have that. He's just showing the tattoo here. He doesn't have all of his decor on there, all the wrappings. It's showing a little of this, and to me, I think I have to show this. I think I have to show that off on mine. But then we dive into all these extra accessories. Now we do get 3 throwing stars, some ninja stars here. Very sharp. I think we've seen these in the past as well. Didn't we see with somebody else? But we do have 3 of those for those keeping track. Actually, are those identical to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Super 7 Ultimate version? They seem to be pretty much identical, and I think that is probably the case, but reuse with kindness. I think that does end up working out pretty well. We do got a long-range sniper rifle here, of course, in a nice blue color, looking very interesting. Don't really think of Storm Shadow doing sniping, but you never know. He's got a man of many talents is what he has here. Got the big scope on the top, looking very interesting there. He does got a little knife, a little dagger if he needs to pull this out and just cut your throat, gut you, do whatever he can. He will do this. Silver blade, black handle, looking on point for Storm Shadow. And when I think of Storm Shadow, I usually think of him with 2 blades, and that's what we have right here. They do match that little dagger. One blade a little longer than the other one. Besides that, same kind of thing. And I always think of him carrying some swords around, but I also think of him, of course, with the big bow and arrow, and he does have that here. Nice black bow. Love that we got real string on here, and you can almost play a song. It almost feels like it's ready to go. And we do get 3 arrows for him as well to go along with this. A little bit overkill. Don't know if we really needed 3, but hey, we'll take what we can get here. Looking like your standard arrow. Got the silver tips on the end. A bad day at the office, whoever's on the other end of his bow and arrow game. As we know, Storm Shadow, one of the strongest bow and arrow games in the land, as we do know. Now we do get some nunchucks here, black nunchucks, and I love it that we got a real chain between here. Feels nice, feels very sturdy. Really like that here. He's going full Michelangelo right here at the table is what he's going to do. But very, very nice nunchucks, very good quality. I am here for that. And then I believe this is the Excalibur sword, isn't it, from that episode? That was a great one. That's where I really sensed the Spirit Storm Shadow rivalry. There was a lot of respect there, but there was a rivalry there, and that was always my favorite. Something about that was more appealing to me than the Snake Eyes one. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but a nice blade going on, a nice frosted color, got the jewels on there, gold handle. Reenact the episode at home if you want to with Storm Shadow, looking very good. But now we're going to dive into Storm Shadow and his heads here. Now, the second head is an interesting one. This is Storm Shadow Underwater Edition when he's got his scuba gear on. He's an assassin underwater, an assassin on land. He's just assassinating and assassinating all over the place. And, you know, he's just a wild card, that Storm Shadow. But pretty much on brand, same kind of thing, just behind a mask right here. I'm not sure anybody's going to really be using this in their collection. Maybe somebody will, but it's a nice throw-in. It's just definitely not a must-have, not needed. I think most people are going to go with the head that's on here. And all day long, this is Storm Shadow. Somebody hands me this head. Who is this? That's Storm Shadow. That's what I'm going to say. Looks just like him. You got a lot of emotion out of those eyes with Storm Shadow, maybe with the eyebrows up there a little bit. But besides that, just straight up white ninja mask across the back. Just looking like a typical Storm Shadow figure, but looks real good. I don't got any issues with it, and I really have no issues with the skin tone on this one. Of course, we had struggled. It was a dagger in the heart with Flint. He didn't have that magically good skin tone like we saw in Series 1. This one so far, first one I've got out, I don't have a problem with this skin tone so far. So hopefully that carries on to the other figures. We'll see what happens there. Now he does got the holder around his back here, and you got a spot to put his bow and arrow, and of course his arrows. And then you got the spot for both of his blades back here. So you can store a lot of this stuff on here. Maybe you store that in there, and maybe he's got the nunchuck swinging around. He's got the rifle in the other hand. Choose your own weapons adventure with him, but you do got some storage opportunities. I do like that. We also got storage in the front, as we got 2 throwing stars in the front, which is a dangerous day at the office because if he sits down, I think those go right into his stomach and basically kills himself. But he does have those. They are in there, but they are not removable. He does got the belt here, and then he's got his white pajamas throughout. I mean, he's straight up ninja. I don't know why ninjas love pajamas so much, but they love to be comfy at the end of the day. They're like my wife. They want to get in those pajamas. They want to get in bed as quick as they possibly can. and maybe my wife's an assassin in the bedroom. Who knows? Who knows? But this one right here, he went full ninja. There's no doubt about it. And of course, we've seen it in the past in a lot of G.I. Joe lines throughout the years. A lot of reuse out of this body with different colored ninjas and things. Maybe we'll see that in Super 7 down the road. Be a great way to get the most out of your molds. Not sure there's a lot of interest in that, but you never know. The Joe fan base likes to build out armies and things. So that does look good. But it is straight up Ninja Gear Storm Shadow. There's no doubt about who this is. Of course, you got the Cobra logo on the chest right here. Very on brand. You got those ninja forearm wrappings. Talked about the fist. At the end of the day, Storm Shadow all day long. Now the arms, of course, go all the way around for us. You got a bicep cut, side to side, single jointed elbows. Very tight joints on this. Not too tight where they feel they're going to break, but a very good feeling on them. Of course, arm is removable, or I guess arm is removable in this case. We talked about that, but hands removable as we do know. Now this figure almost feels like it's backwards with the ab crunch. Very strange, as I really have no ab crunch on this, but you see it on the back is like the big part of the ab crunch that usually goes up here. It's in the back, and in the front, barely any ab crunch. And I'm not getting any movement out of this guy in the ab crunch department. So I don't know if this is on backwards or what the heck's going on here. I'm at a total loss there, but it does look a little bit strange. There's really no articulation in that. You do get the side to side, a little bit of side to side, not a ton though. Not a ton to stay or anything, so that's weird. You do get some splits going there, so some good ninja splits. I think that's pretty good for a ninja, I would say. The legs do go up, bend at the knee. No side to side at the knee, nope, but you do get the up and down. Oh, look at that. We got the boot cut. We don't get boot cut very often with, of course, Super 7, but we do got boot cut with this guy. I'm here for that. Leg, foot, up and down, side to side. Plenty of movement there. And he's got those ninja slippers on. He's going to slip his way right into our heart and then stab you in the back is what he will do. Got a hole in the foot. Will he fit on a ringside collectible Mattel stand? What do you know? He fits perfectly right there on the stand. Man, I'm here for that. A strong showing right here for Storm Shadow. Like I said earlier, one of the most popular Cobra enemies of all time in the Super 7 line. I think this will be a pretty good seller. A lot of people are going to want this guy in their collection. They might pass on the Trooper, but they got to have a heavy hitter like Storm Shadow in their collection. Gotta say, looks pretty good, feels pretty good. The shoe fits, wear it. Or in this instance, buy it. A very good Super 7 Ultimate figure of Storm Shadow, but playing a lot of hits for me as G.I. Joe was my main collecting line in the 80s, and I love this love letter to the cartoon series. Just playing a lot of hits right here for me today. But speaking of a lot of hits, we got Snake Eyes first version, so you can kind of compare these guys together. A lot of people are going to square these two off. Have to imagine we get the Ninja Snake Eyes coming soon. Of course, it's the Commando version, but we need the Ninja Snake Eyes, and I'm sure it's in the works. I'm sure it will be. And then, of course, the retro Walmart classified style Storm Shadow. Probably my favorite Storm Shadow figure of this new scaling. That's not 3 3/4. A beautiful, beautiful rendition here in that retro wave from Walmart. A very cool one. And I think most people do have this, or at least the other one there. They like the classified series, myself included. But man, there's something special about the cartoon one, cartoon accurate edition. And for me, they live side by side in my collection. I'm here for both of them. Give me all the Super 7 Ultimate G.I. Joes. Give me all the G.I. Joe classified figures. Give me all the Joes in this day and age. I'm here for that. But Storm Shadow, hey, 2 thumbs up for me. I like what I see right here. A little bit of a redemption song like a young Bob Marley. That's what it is here. So hopefully the rest of the wave goes as good as this one goes. Of course, stay tuned to the channel. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Check out the Patreon, of course, for early access to videos like this. And don't forget to leave your comments in the comments section in this very video. Don't forget ProWrestlingTees.com. Pick up a t-shirt. And, of course, follow me on social media. SirPaul64 on the X. _Kyle_Peterson on Threads. And on Instagram. So for Storm Shadow, Snake Eyes, and Storm Shadow, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.